Hello everyone, and I'm your writer, and yes, I did watch this. That's really all I have to say. I honestly don't know what came over me when I saw this. I remember watching this as a teenager when it first came out, and I was starting high school actually too, so that was also funny. But I stopped because my younger sibling didn't want to watch it with me anymore, so yeah, I came back because Ben Schwartz voices movie Sonic, who also voices the main protagonist of this series. And he also voices Dewey Duck from DuckTales, which I highly recommend, and one of the turtles. That was weird, but this is enjoyable too. I like this, and yeah, let's just get on with the review. Oh, and spoilers! Does that even matter? This came out in 2012? The story. I like the premise of this, and this is because I love magical girl shows and Spider-Man. This is basically if Peter Parker wasn't smart and didn't have any self-control to an extent. Because the scarf and him swinging around reminds me of a lot of Spider-Man using his webs. I know it was a reference to Indiana Jones, but it has the Spider-Man flair to it, I'm sorry. And maybe it is because of complex video game plots that have been driving me crazy lately, but I like that this was a simple plotline. He's going to fight a sorcerer, robots, and other enemies. It wasn't anything too extreme. Also, and I can't believe I'm ever saying this, but he did it! He stopped his main antagonist in 2 seasons! Thank you! Brevity is a strength, and thank God they didn't drag this out! Also, and thank you for letting him have a friend who's aware of who he is. I think Ladybug just beat me over the head with the keeping the secret identity thing a secret. I'm getting tired of that, but I'm also surprised that only one other person found him out. Great job, Debbie. Now, speaking of plots and books, I love the Nomicon. That book is amazing. Thank you, fandom, for agreeing that this book is non-binary, and thank you, my friend, for making me realize that the book does mess with him. If those wondering what I mean, that book is 800 years old and has a bunch of lessons from the previous holders. Whenever he opens the book, the book puts him into a coma-like state and tries to teach him the lessons. Does he listen? Well, in the first season, he tries to understand the book because it is being cryptic. In the second one, the book literally dumbs itself down to him to teach him. And he still doesn't get it. The book then kicks him out and lets him figure it out. I love this book. I would honestly be fine if we got an episode in the book's perspective. I would love that. Another huge part of this is that our main protagonist and how he's an idiot who's learning. That's so nice. Be honest, none of us knew what we were doing in high school in our freshman year. You claim you did, you were lying. Just kidding, maybe you did. Maybe you knew what you were doing. Good for you. I didn't. Regardless, he's stupid and caring. I think the fans are right. He has a heart of gold, but he's an idiot. And it works too. You can see him learning and improving throughout the series. Granted, it does take a while, but he is trying. I can't help but make this comparison, but Randy is a much better protagonist than Marinette in the recent seasons. He's learning and trying to do better, where Marinette kind of fell apart. I personally blame the too many writers at the table with Mary, but Randy does try to learn to be a better hero in person. I think the best example is using the sword. He used the sword to do something stupid, but by the end of the series, he used the sword to protect others. Again, look throughout the series, you can see him improve. I'm not even kidding. This style, oh my god, this animation's unique, sharp, and clean. Which is interesting, but I love this style. We have 2D animation with traditional Japanese style mashed together, and it works. I love it. Also, everyone looks unique and different, and this is oddly a diverse cast, which is good, but I didn't see that coming, to be honest. Also, this is basically a magical girl show. I do not care if that's not what anyone thought when they first watched this, but he's clearly a magical girl, or boy in this case. He has a transformation, items, even power-ups. He's a magical girl. Yes, I'm a sucker for this kind of shows. I do not care. But you can argue with me that he is also Spider-Man, but I'll save that point for another time, I guess. I don't know. But he's a lot like Spider-Man. We actually see more of the town and other locations too, regardless of whether or not it makes sense. We also see the seasons change, which may sound petty, but I like to see it, and I don't see this often. Also, the little details in this show. Randy dances, plays the ukulele, and has other moments like this. It's nice to see those details. Another interesting detail is whenever he's with Teresa, he hears a nice, peaceful melody. I'm not kidding, go back and listen to the music. You hear a peaceful melody whenever he talks to Teresa. Also, his fighting style, I love it. You can tell he's improving throughout the series. I love how nimble and strong he is. Also, his fighting style is very similar to how he dances. In the episode where he goes to the party, you can see his fighting style be that of when Nama Randy dances. I'm not even kidding. The fight scenes in this series are really good. I love how it works and the amount of moves and weapons he has. He has different ways to beat his enemies, whether it makes sense or not, and if he listens to the non-binary 800-year-old book. You know, as I rate these scripts, I really find some of the sentences rather odd and strange, but this isn't the strangest nor weirdest sentence I've ever written, so there's also that. But yeah, again, animation. If they ever come back to this, do not change the style. This style is fantastic. I'm not even kidding. Look at his expressions too. He's so expressive. the good. You can tell that they listened to their audience and improved the writing in the second season. I know there are more fillers in the second season, but it definitely has better writing than most of the first one. Again, our protagonist is an idiot and a heart of gold, and he's learning. We have a non-binary sentient book that could clearly handle everything if it was given a human form and a weapon of some kind. It's funny and serious, granted it doesn't balance that too well, but it is present. I like the enemies and the side characters a lot more than I thought, except for the rich white guy and his stepson. I think Theresa, Debbie, Heidi, and Bucky are good characters. They are not in your face either. I do believe Theresa might have had a more bigger role if the series continued, and considering how they set up the ending, that might have been a possibility. I would love to see more of Julian. Maybe he has more magic too. I don't know, I think that'd be interesting. This show doesn't hold anything back. If it gets an idea, it runs with it till the end of the episode. That's something we don't see anymore, and I'm kind of annoyed by that. Not everything needs an explanation. Let it just exist. I like how we sort of don't have all the answers and we can speculate, especially in a show where I don't think the creators wanted us to speculate, but too late. I have so many questions about that book. Okay, the bat. Alright, I get that this is a kid's show, but please. They actually improved upon this in the second season, as I was saying, but they got rid of a lot of the fart jokes and disgusting comments. I get that this is a kid's show, but my god, it's still the dumbest thing ever. Also, let's get rid of the white rich man, please, and the bully. Those two are the worst characters in the show by far. I would be fine if we never saw them again. But I also feel like it would lose some sort of charm to it, so I guess just write them better. Again, in the second season, they did improve upon McFist, but the bully not so much. Actually, no, the bully did get an episode, so maybe they're fine. I don't know, I just don't like them as much. Yeah, you know, I feel like this is just one big villain origin story for Viceroy. Seriously, he would make a better villain, and I would be for it. I know this ended on a cliffhanger of sorts, but it also ended on a good stopping point too, much like with Gravity Falls. They beat the main antagonist, but you can continue if you want to pick this up. Regardless, there were hints to something coming, and I would have loved to see that. But I have to agree, the writing can be out of pace. I get this show isn't supposed to be serious all the time, but it needs a balance. I think the best way to go about it is to have your first 15 minutes be a silly episode, and the latter half be a plot one. I think that would work out and balance the show much better. This doesn't have to be used all the time, but I can see this kind of thing working out. For example, you have one episode where Randy and Howard do something incredibly stupid, and the other half can be backstory or plot focused on the main antagonist and their plans. The pacing is a huge problem in this, along with the countless filler episodes, which are annoying, but they at least have some humor and moments that make you laugh until your sides hurt. So, what am I doing next? Look, I know I said in the previous video that I did finish Avatar, and I should probably do a review on it, being that I loved it so much, and it's really great, and it actually aged pretty well, all things considered, except for the cast, but you know what, they did what they could. I'm very impressed with it. Oh, and I finished Monica Magica Record. That was kind of a letdown. I don't know why they changed it. I know some fans like the changes, but there are other changes that I did not enjoy too much. I just wonder why. For those wondering why I'm doing this, I never watched this stuff as a kid, so my friends recommended it to me, and I've been hooked on it ever since. For those wondering, I grew up in the early 2000s with Cartoon Network, so I never watched these until now. So for those wondering what I am watching at the moment, I will get to Moon Knight, trust me. I'm halfway through season 2 of Kim Possible. Danny Phantom's kind of almost there, and I'm gonna do Jake Long next. Again, I've never seen these, so I'm very excited to see it, especially since my friends recommended this to me so well. Yeah, I do like it, so I will get on those as soon as I can. Thank you. And for my conclusion, personally, this has a little bit of bias, but I give it a 4 out of 5. This show has potential and more, and they were clearly setting up something for it too. And you know what? Give it to me! I'll watch it. If they can give the Daredevil a 3rd season, I don't see why Ninja can't move on to the 10th grade till the 12th grade. I assume that's just how that would have ended at least. Either way, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, have a wonderful day, as well as like and comment. Goodbye!